everybody, Pete Peterson here with Dream Huge Realty and my main man.
Justin Bigelow, hashtag sell with Bigelow.
And the famous legend, Mr. Shawn Chitwood. How you doing today, Shawn?
Good, Pete. How you doing, man?
Good, good.
Justin.
Hey, we are here in Lexington, Ohio at Team Chitwood Martial Arts and Fitness. And just a quick introduction for my friend here, for those you don't know. The professor and CEO of Team Chitwood Martial Arts, the legend with over 30 years of experience, 6 black belts, 3 national titles, 1 world championship, okay?
Wow.
Exclamation point on that one. It's not too often I get to interview a world champion.
Yeah.
Okay, first time ever, actually.
Yeah.
Teaching for over 24 years with over 9,000 students, folks, and who have earned over 35 black belts, Mr. Shawn Chitwood, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Good to see everybody.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it, yeah.
So we're gonna have a little bit of fun. We're gonna talk some jiu-jitsu, martial arts. Hey guys, we're not always talking about new listings, price reductions, houses we sold, houses we put in contract. You guys know we do that. It gets a little boring at times. You know what we like to do? We like to go out into the community and talk to influencers, huge dreamers, people who have just a great impact on the community, and especially we are passionate about local business and small business here in the community. So thank you, Shawn, and we're gonna be talking with him today. So let's talk some jiu-jitsu. We're gonna hit you with some questions. We're gonna have some fun.
I'm ready.
And Mr. Bigelow, go ahead and start us off.
Number
All right.
one, how's business?
You know, business like everybody's a slight downturn. But one of the things in martial arts, you got to be prepared for everything,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, so we quickly pivoted on this from physical location. When DeWine shut us down, one of the first people they shut down was fitness centers.
Yeah.
We quickly pivoted online and have retained a large majority of our clients.
Oh, good. Yeah, I hated it when the gym shut down.
Yeah, a lot of people do. You know, we're all chomping at the bit to get back in there,
Yeah.
but we've made a nice pivot.
Yeah.
Got to pivot and react. Very good. We're just going to go through the stats and the facts off the start, and then we're going to get into the good fun stuff.
All right.
How many locations do you have and where?
We have 3 locations here in Lexington, Ohio. We have one in Lewis Center, which is northern side of Columbus, and then in Marion.
Okay.
And then we have 4 affiliates that are in one in Strongsville, Ohio. We have Chicago, Illinois. We have Somerville, South Carolina, and then Venice, Florida.
Wow, I
Oh,
did not
wow.
realize that.
Down in
Getting
Florida.
nationwide over here. Very good. Mr. Big.
Yeah, so what are some programs you offer?
So we start here at Team Chitwood. We do all jiu-jitsu, self-defense, and fitness. We have a 4 to 6-year-old group, which is our minis. We have a 7 through 11-year-old group, which is our kid-jitsu classes. We have 11 through 15, which is our teenagers, and then
Okay.
16 and up is our adults, and we segment them that way.
Gotcha.
Whereas a lot of martial arts class kind of lump everybody together.
Yeah.
We specialize with each group because everybody learns differently.
Wow, that's good.
Awesome. So four, as young as 4 years old, and I can attest to that. My boys have been coming here since 4 years old.
For a long time.
Yes, yes. So we appreciate you for that. Here's one. How long does it take to earn a black belt?
No, that's a good question. So we teach 2 specific styles of jiu-jitsu here. Although jiu-jitsu is jiu-jitsu, the fastest you can do it in our combat jiu-jitsu style is about 5.5 years. And then the Brazilian or Gracie jiu-jitsu, which is we're most famously known for, is about 10 years.
Wow.
Wow.
It's like earning a PhD.
Yeah, you talk about learning not only self-defense, but discipline, commitment, right? Some of the lessons that you learn along that journey. So cool.
Yeah, so we asked how long it takes to earn a black belt. How are you teaching the classes?
Right now, we're doing them online. We use Zoom. I think a lot of fitness centers are using Zoom. We've altered our class schedule when that is. We're offering 6 classes a week. We have our minis and kids
Okay.
online, separated then by our teens and adults together. We have online fitness and yoga classes.
Yeah.
And then we shoot out the messages to our current students, and they log on and train with us. And actually, we're getting really strong feedback that the folks even like it. Matter of fact, this pivot is probably going to change how we do classes
Yeah.
when we get back here, because
Yeah.
people are really liking the strong fitness element that we've had to focus on a little bit with a lot of individual training.
Okay. So you do like a Zoom video where you're on camera?
Yes,
And then,
yeah, and they follow along. They train with us.
Okay.
Some folks at home have partners. They have a sibling or a parent
Yeah.
or a spouse that they train with. Some have dummies that they can use, whether it be a heavy bag or a
Wow.
throwing dummy or a stuffed dummy.
Okay.
They're very popular in our industry of jiu-jitsu. And some don't have anybody, so they shadow box some of the techniques.
Yeah.
But our class is focused for everybody. So our initial circuit training is for folks who don't have, everybody's just going to do it solo. And then we get into technical jiu-jitsu instruction. So after we satisfy the fitness, we do the technical jiu-jitsu instruction. Some people have partners, some people don't. And then we open up for a Q&A, especially for our teens and adults who are inquisitive about the stuff that we're doing. And
Sounds
ask
like a
questions
lot.
like, oh man, we are as busy now as ever. It's just
that's
changed
good.
the format that we've
Yeah,
done it with.
I've always said this is going to create innovation.
Yep. And like I said, it's going to change the way we do business, even when it's back to normal.
Sure. Yeah, it's going to create business for you.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, create additional business. Wow, that is awesome. That is a true entrepreneur right there.
Yeah, man.
Find an opportunity
Definitely.
when one door literally closes, another one opens.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh, and I'll say that Zoom is super cool too. I've done it. You know, you get text message a password and a meeting code. You type it in right before, and you jump on, and you can see everybody else. You can choose not to be on camera as well. If
Right.
you want to
Yeah.
be
Right.
doing it naked or whatever.
In your pajamas still,
Right.
that's fine.
Or you can be on there with the whole rest of the class and see all the old homies. So it's super cool. And I skipped over this, but how much does it cost?
So different areas are different rates. I mean, we can get students in as low as $100 a month. So then we have different tiers of that. So because of these circumstances, if somebody's interested in our classes, wants to reach out, have them contact us, we'll get them into some of these multiple classes for free to see if it's kind of their thing. But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
we offer a ton of different programs and
Nice
rates.
little
where it's-
trial.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we want to work with the community.
Cool.
Yeah, and not only that, you know, not only the classes themselves, but they also have a fitness center here in the back as well.
right
So,
back
and that's just here in Lexington. You know, every
Yeah, 2 of our locations have fitness centers, so we like to keep the parents involved if they're not in class, so they're there for an hour with their kids. It's nice
Yeah.
for them to be able to get back on the treadmill or throw the weights around like Pete does here, getting huge all the time. You know, so they can
Yes,
pull
love
advantage of
that. You'll find me back there some days. I'll just come out here and say, "How'd you do today, son?" I don't know because I didn't watch it. Hopefully, you didn't have a black eye or something.
But my biceps are huge.
But yes. So now let's go back a little bit. How'd you get started in the business?
Oh yeah, so I always get asked that. So back in 1980s when I started martial arts with my dad, who's my brother's biological dad, Steve Chitwood, who raised me. We got it started in judo and jiu-jitsu together, and really that kind of just took off. He stayed with it for about 6 years, and I've always done it through a ton of martial arts. So I started out actually at the Mansfield YMCA back when it was on Park Avenue. It was actually kind of a hot spot for martial arts back then. A lot of people have trained there and taught there, but I started out with Mr. Zoli Kovacs in 1980 in his jiu-jitsu. Then he offered the jiu-jitsu self-defense with that, and then kind of went on from there.
Wow.
Wow.
Very good. Yeah, that's going a ways back.
Been
That the
history
old
since.
Mansfield Y ain't even there anymore.
Right, yeah, it's leveled.
Yeah. You've reached the pinnacle of achievement in your sport, right? World champion, folks. Like I said, if you missed it, if you're just joining us, and you epitomize that dream huge attitude. You really do. So what advice could you offer to a young student who has aspirations of being a world champion someday? What would you tell him?
So the things that point out to me, because I'd won a world championship title in 1998 as a member of the 97-98 team, and then 20 years later, I just resigned my position as the head coach of the United States team. So
Wow.
it kind of came full circle for me. So I had athletes that I coached, and as an athlete myself, the thing that sticks in my mind is don't take no for an answer. Can't tell you how many times being from Lucas, Ohio, Pete's from Lucas, it's such everybody thinks that small town doesn't produce anything. I mean, look at them in sports. I mean, this town is awesome. So.
Yeah.
Never took no for an answer because I was told you can't do that. You're from Lucas. You can't do that. You're not big enough. You can't do that. I mean, I had several significant injuries in high school as an athlete. I remember blowing out my leg in a kickboxing accident, and then I was told by my doctor, "You're never going to walk without a limp again, let alone play sports." That was always in the back of my head. That drove me to then later win 3 national championships and a world championship title. Just being told that you can't do something.
Makes you want to do it.
It's the only limitation that you have in what you want to do or what you're able to do is right here.
Yep.
Your own worst enemy.
Exactly.
Or your best friend.
100%.
Very much. So,
Don't take no for an answer. Don't take no for an answer, folks. You hear that? And that's part of our motto. Work hard, never give up, and dream huge.
That's right.
Never give up is the same thing you're saying.
Yeah.
Never give up. Don't take no for an answer.
Always find a way.
Yeah. Go
So,
ahead, Big.
let's have some fun. Let's talk some practical techniques in a hypothetical situation.
Okay.
Oh.
Let's say you're in an altercation.
Wait, who's going to be the dummy?
Okay.
Me?
I'm not the dummy.
You'll do,
We'll use Pete.
I'll be the dummy. We're going to...
Okay, let's say you're in an altercation at the store and there's a dispute over who gets last roll of toilet paper.
Oh, yeah, so it's
The
definitely.
guy swings on you.
Wait, who gets what?
The last roll of toilet paper.
A fight over the last roll of toilet
That's
paper.
right, we must be at
okay, this
Walmart.
must be in the time that
What
we're
are you
in.
gonna do? They start swinging.
Okay, so first of all, if I'm in an altercation with somebody, before he even swings, I want that 6 feet. Well, right now, that's social distancing, right?
Yeah.
But even before social distancing was an object, we always talk about it as the reactionary gap. I need to be 6 feet from somebody when I'm talking to them and it's getting heated, because then I can react to what they're doing. Anytime he gets inside of that, his ability to sucker punch me goes way up or do damage.
Okay.
Okay, but if he has closed that gap and he throws some big wide punch, I don't want to do a fancy block. Okay,
Yeah.
I want to protect the target. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a helmet. I'm gonna hide right in here. Okay, and then I can come in and I can clench him and stay tight to look for my exit, whether it be take him down and get away or drive him back and get away.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know who else is in this altercation. He might have 2 friends with him
Yeah.
that are upset. Well, one-on-one isn't gonna work there. I need space. So I'm always gonna react by protecting the target. So if he swings again, I'm gonna make my helmet, I'm gonna get inside, I can drive him off of that and get space and get out of there. Because ultimately, I don't wanna fight.
Yeah.
Right.
I have the ability to, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
That's the discipline of being able to and not having to.
That was interesting to me that when we were talking in the pre-show, you said, I'm going to helmet up, I'm going to drive into him, but the very next thing I'm going to do is get out.
Absolutely.
Because you don't know how many of his friends are there
Yeah.
or what the situation is. Find the exit and get out and make space, get back to that space, right?
Right, you don't know
Makes
how
sense.
volatile a situation can
Yeah.
become. This isn't a prearranged fight where Pete and I have agreed that we're gonna fight, we're gonna be locked in a cage and there's one referee.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know how many people walking down those aisles are his ally,
Yep.
Sure.
right? So safety for me is an exit. That's not cowardice, that's smartness,
Yeah.
so.
I like it. I'm going to teach
Makes
the boys that
sense.
one. Yeah, and who knows if he doesn't have a weapon or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it escalates.
And today, people are a little twisted with the situation, you don't know what you're up against.
It's true.
Right.
They might cough on you.
That's great advice there. Okay, you also have, 2 brothers who've helped you over the years.
Yes.
Mr. Neil and Craig.
Yep.
All right, maybe they're watching. And they are accomplished martial artists in their own right. Now, of the 3 of you, and think about this is tough. Who's the toughest? Who's the smartest? And who's the most handsome?
Oh, that's the easiest. I'm the older, best looking, smarter Chitwood brother.
All 3. I thought all 3 was going to go to Shawn.
No, and all joking aside, I tell you what, we're very proud of the fact that we're all 3 from Lucas. We're all from this community, the Mansfield area, and the fact we've all been world champions in our event. So I
Yeah.
think that's pretty unheard of. And I know personally, I've trained with some of the best people worldwide. I haven't been pushed as hard by anybody in the entire world more than I've been pushed by my own brothers. And I'm talking physically and fighting. I'm talking in business. I mean, what a great thing it's been to have those 2 guys to bounce a lot of ideas off of as
Yeah.
well as training.
Yeah. I always gotta have those few people,
That's amazing.
the tight knit circle.
Never say no, or don't let them tell you you can't do it,
Yep.
and have someone to push you in a tight circle.
Yeah. Don't let them tell you that you
Right.
can't.
And I'm sure you
Let
push them
them-
a little bit too.
Yeah, you are most like the 5 people you keep nearest you.
That's
You want
right.
to think about that.
The
That's
ones
right.
that will root for you.
Right.
Word on the street is you're going Hollywood on us. That's what I heard.
Maybe several times.
Have you? Were you an actor in a music video?
Yeah, so Bubble Flex, which is a very well-known band,
Yeah.
one of the lead singers there, Shawn, has been a private lesson student of mine for a long time, and he's all the time when he's on the road calling me with all these crazy ideas. I don't know if you've ever met Shawn. Bubble Flex has always been one of my favorite bands, and then
Yep.
Shawn reached out to me multiple times, and it just gets to be like, that's just one of Shawn's crazy ideas. And then actually, they did a music video based on a story that he had in his head, and I played the main character that you can see online. I basically look like Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. You can't tell it's me,
Okay.
but I do all the fight scenes and
Gotcha.
90% of the stunt work and everything like that. It's pretty cool.
Stuntman. Hollywood is
Wow.
calling. Professional
So you're
stuntman.
similar to that guy that does all those action movies where he's behind the suit, like Snake Eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was
Awesome.
fun.
Cool.
Go ahead, Biggie.
Yeah, so you're certified to Gracie School. What can
Mm-hmm.
you tell me about that?
Yeah, so I mean, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because the UFC has become very well known, and the Gracie family brought Gracie Jiu-Jitsu to the United States. Although Jiu-Jitsu had been here much longer than that, they kind of
Yeah.
brought their flavor of it. And what they were really good is amazing marketers, outside of being amazing martial artists, because they are some of the best Jiu-Jitsu practitioners. I don't want to take that away from them. But I had the opportunity to start training with Royce Gracie and his brothers just prior to the UFC, so it was about 6 months before, and then I watched them accelerate from, hey, a couple guys getting together to,
Yeah.
famous in the martial arts circles to now I think it's the #2 viewed pro sport.
Wow.
And so I'm one of the original Americans ever achieved my black belt from the Gracie family. I've actually trained the Gracies, some of their children. They've sent here for me to train, and which is probably the largest honor I've ever had is
Wow.
when the Gracies trust you to, hey, Shawn, we want to send our son to you for a week. Will you
Yeah.
train him?
For sure.
So that's pretty phenomenal to be that connected to that family.
Man, I'll say when UFC first came out, and Royce Gracie was destroying everybody.
Nobody
You
knew
know,
what it was, right?
Yeah, the big muscle-bound guys,
Yeah.
the wrestler guys. I mean, it didn't matter what martial arts you had, and you were there before all that with
Yeah,
them. What's the chances of that?
Yeah, so obviously a lot of it's being chalked up to luck. I had a pretty significant street fight around that time, just prior to it. So I was a teenager at the time, late teens, just entering college, and I had a subscription to Black Belt magazine, and they used to advertise in the back of Black Belt magazine their Gracie challenge and their videos. So
Okay.
about close quarter fighting and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
this particular street fight I got into because I was real heavy into striking at that moment. I'd kind of gotten in a bear hug situation I kind of struggled to get out of, although it turned out okay. But to me, afterwards, it shouldn't have been that difficult. So, reading that, I said, maybe these guys have something to offer. And I actually called them, and it was Rorion Gracie that answered the phone. He's the one who
Wow.
originated the UFC. He's the grandfather of the UFC. He actually started this. I talked to him on the phone, and he's like, oh, my friend, you need to learn this, and you need to learn that. You need to come out to California. I'm in college. I can't come to California. So he's like, well, we have this guy. He's a doctor. He just got this blue belt from us. You call him. Here's his number, and he's in Columbus, Ohio. So I started training with him, and it was literally Dr. Hudson, Vince Panzano, who was the 1996 Olympic diving coach, and myself training, just in a Taekwondo school, right?
Wow.
There was no official schools. There were no official schools in the United States. Think about this, other than the Gracie Garage, and I think there
Yeah.
was a guy in New York that was connected with them. So so I'm training with a blue belt, which is like the first belt.
Yeah.
He was literally the only blue belt east of the Mississippi. And by the time I got my blue belt, there was I could count on two hands how many of those. So
Wow.
it's really neat to watch it all unfold. Being now we look back and I'm an original gangster. I'm just an old guy doing it. So
Just took off.
Really,
man.
one of the true original gangsters
Yeah.
from the Gracie
How
family.
does no one know about you?
yeah.
Yes.
I am the only American who teaches in Brazil at the Gracie Academy, which is another
Okay.
thing that I'm proud of. So I teach Brazilians their own art.
Wow.
Amazing. Of all your competition titles, which was the most difficult and why?
Leading up to trying to make the United, I tried unsuccessfully. Don't be told no.
Yep.
Don't take failure as an end all. I tried to make the United States team in '96 and failed. There were a lot of. I was young. In '96 I was 23, 24. And I was fighting in a class of people that were just amazing. And so I retried out for the team in '97. The '97-'98 team, that you had to win state, regional, and then place in the nationals to be invited to the United States team invitational.
Okay.
And I'd won the state. I'd placed second in the regionals, which you had to place in the top three. And then going into nationals, the guy who had knocked me out 2 years previously, a guy named John Del Vecchio out of New York, was a two-time world champion.
Wow.
He was a stud in his division. The guy in my actual weight class, Paul Creighton, he went on to fight for a title against BJ Penn in UFC. So I fought with a lot of really good guys. So I actually I gave up 13 pounds minimum every time I fought because I was trying to find a specific weight class for me. But just before going into nationals, I broke my hand training. And the doctor's like, it's going to be 8 weeks before,
Jeez.
and I literally had like 6 weeks before the fight. I'm like,
Oh,
you don't
jeez.
understand.
Yeah.
You don't understand. I have to fight. Like,
Yeah.
You've made it that far.
yeah, I said,
Here you are, you're being told no again.
yeah, I'm being told no again. I was
Yep.
like, you're either going to have to cut this cast off early, and I'm fighting anyway, or we got to come up with another solution. So it was a boxing fracture of my fourth medical. It's actually known as a boxing fracture. So I broke that bone. She said, we can do surgery. It'll take 4 weeks. So I said sold. So I basically couldn't train for 4 weeks after surgery, so I just did cardio like crazy, but I couldn't actually practice my art. So then after I got the cast off, I had 1 week to prepare for this fight. You know, it was a tournament, but I knew if I won the tournament, I would face this guy who beat me twice before.
Oh my.
And
Sounds like a movie.
yeah, and so I get in there, and you know, I did very well. I won all my matches, met him in the finals, met John in the finals. And John and I, we had a love-hate relationship. You know, today we're really good friends. Back then, we didn't like each other so much. So, but ended up losing to him on decision, okay? Losing to him on decision, but I placed silver in the nationals that year, and I was able to go on to the team trials. In team trials, I made first position in the United States team because I submitted him at trials. That was 6 weeks later, so I had more time to. So I finally beat my nemesis.
There
so that
you
was
go.
probably the thing that I had to overcome was I could have gotten in my head. This guy, you know, he beat me really 3 times.
Yeah.
Until I faced him a 4th time, but it was do or die at that point. So
Yep.
I solely focused on that person and refused to give up. I knew that the road to the World Championships was through that match
Went
with
through
him.
him no matter what.
Yep.
That's a good
Never
story.
give up. Broken hand, never give up. Maybe well, you didn't beat him until a little bit later on, but the extra cardio, I mean, I guess it was just, maybe you were just sick of losing to him straight up.
That was
and you
it.
gave it that extra adrenaline.
Yeah, and in the fight world, people can get in your head. You can be technically better than people, but if they're in your head, they're in your head. It's one of the things I specialize with, because I knew that when I fought internationally, I fought guys who were more talented than me. So I tried to work on the psychological part of the game. And then one thing that I could always control when I competed was I couldn't control how good you were. I didn't know your pedigree or your background.
Yep.
Okay, and in my training, maybe you had better training partners, maybe I had better trainers. I couldn't control that, but the variable that I could always control was my cardio.
Yeah.
So I was always made sure that I did not fatigue. The times that I lost, you know, I was never knocked out or submitted. I lost on decision, but I never lost because I got tired. So that was one thing that I can control. And at that time, my brother Neil was my main cardio and main training partner, and he was a fit machine too. We just pushed each other, pushed it. And to this day, I hate running because of how much cardio I did.
Wow. Control those
Well,
variables which you can control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only you can control what you're
100%.
doing.
All right, let's get back to, and we're going a little long today, but guys, this is awesome stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and there is no time limit, really, is
No,
there?
not
Yeah, we'll keep going. As long as Shawn don't have to go nowhere. We just got a couple more questions, guys. How did Team Chitwood do at the Arnold Classic this year?
Yeah, so our team, we competed at the Arnold Classic. For the last several years, we've placed consecutively 3rd place and 3rd place. So I kind of put it out to the team that we were going to train harder with a goal of taking 1st place. And we accomplished that goal. As a team, we took 1st overall.
Wow.
And a very large, I think there was 1,500 competitors. So collectively as a team, we were the best team there.
Number
which we're
one.
very, very proud of.
Yes, awesome. That's probably is that one of the biggest events in the U.S.?
Well, not in the U.S., but to date in the Eastern United States and in the grappling industries that runs that for sure.
Yeah.
And they're only on an upward swing, that organization, and the people that represent
Would that
them.
be like for Ohio? Is that the biggest?
Oh, for sure. It's
Wow.
it's the largest in the Midwest
Sure.
even.
Well, because you
for
figure
sure.
Arnold Classic's one of the largest
Right.
bodybuilding,
Yeah.
you know, so I figure it was the same for
Yeah,
Jiu-Jitsu as well.
unless you go clear to New York City or all the way out to San Diego, you're not going to find a tournament that's larger.
Wow.
Little old
Special.
boy from Lucas, Ohio, man, just tearing it up. Let's see, what else we got? Oh, I see it hanging on the wall over there. I have to ask you about it. Tell me about carrying the Olympic torch in 2002.
Yeah, so I was a world-class athlete in 97, 98, and then, you know, we run a very commercial business, but I do a lot of donation of time to the community. I've been in law enforcement since 1995. I train all of our law enforcement agencies here in Richland County for free. I'm one of the state's recognized experts as a master instructor. I'm also one of the state's recognized experts on force. So I work with Richland County, I work with Mansfield PD, and then the smaller departments to do all their training. But even before that, before my schedule got so full, I was doing a lot of volunteer time at OC Hill with inner city kids. I was teaching them martial arts for free on my off days. So I had my commercial classes that I did, you know, for money. But then I had a couple off days per week that I taught the kids at OC Hill. Because I thought it was important for them to have. A lot of them don't have father figures. A lot of them didn't see law enforcement in a good light. And here was an individual who came in as a law enforcement officer and who knew martial arts, who connected with those kids. And so I got nominated to be a torchbearer because I was a former world-class athlete, and then kind of a volunteer inside the community with law enforcement, and then
Wow,
in
that's
the inner
good.
city.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It was a great honor.
Shows how important it is just giving back too,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you're a go-getter, man. I get it. You're an entrepreneur. Your mind's going 100 miles a minute, but you made time and took time to give back to the community. That's huge, man.
Yeah, that's big.
That's awesome. What else we got, Big? Do we got any more questions on there?
Just what's the future? What's the future hold for you?
Well, I think for all of us, we all got to stand strong and make it through this first next step. I mean, you want to set goals. You got to have those intermediate goals. Our intermediate goals now is not only to thrive online, but to grow online. And then when we're back in the academy, do the same.
Yeah.
Continue to service our communities. You know, I think that despite what the news says, despite what you hear on the news, I think if people just get out and meet their neighbor,
Yeah.
I think the divide that is perceived to be there really isn't there.
Yeah.
And I think to continue to work towards that, because, you know, outside of the martial arts and the jiu-jitsu and all that stuff, it's about, you know, community. And I don't think people see that as much, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm fortunate in the position I am, you know, 26 years in teaching this, that I'm one of the leaders in the industry, but I don't forget that in order to get here, I had many people who stepped up and helped me. The Mike Strassels of the world with the Strassel machine and High Point Firearms, and the people, countless number of people, the Sam Faulkners, the Mark Williams, that have helped me get here. So now, because I'm in a dominant position or a position of leadership, I'm constantly looking to help those that are in my position.
Yeah.
No matter what the business is.
And
I've done a lot of-
transitioning over to that.
I've helped a lot of people in business that are outside of martial arts. Because one thing that you know about business, Pete, is you don't stay in business as long as we have unless you've done a lot of things wrong, right?
That's right.
And corrected them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a lot of businesses. I got a friend that runs an auto repair shop, that very good auto repair, but doesn't know much about business. I mentor him a little bit. I mean, just try to pass it forward.
Sure.
And that's the big thing. If
awesome.
everybody does that, meets their neighbor, passes something forward,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a better place.
Yeah, and I think right now is a good time to do it.
100%.
And I think people are open to it. So
Right.
finally.
That's a great future. A great future right here, guys. Right here
Yeah.
at Team Chitwood Martial Arts and Fitness. We can't wait to be back open for business.
Absolutely.
And be back in here again soon, hopefully. So,
Yeah.
hey, guys, thank you for joining us. Pete Peterson with Dream Huge Realty
And Justin Bigelow, #sell with Bigelow.
and the man himself, Mr. Shawn Chitwood.
Nice meeting everybody.
Hey, thank you for joining us. Everybody have a great day. Work hard, never give up, and dream huge. Thank you.